what they had us do for the whole thing. Oh, I love this track. This is one of the coolest tracks in this game. It's so hard on 200cc though, there's a lot of sharp corners. Hard to make a sharp corner freaking going that fast. So the way the Switch 2 experience, how they had it, you know, they had the line outside to go in, and then once we got in, they had us go through this metal thing, and then they had these, you know, tables where they gave us the lanyards that we got to get to see. Talk about the Switch 2 experience, attendee, the gameplay experience thing where you get the stamps on the back, and then we waited in a line again inside there for them to open up the doors, and then they had a little section to where, you know, they had all the equipment kind of out. They had the Switch 2 handheld out on the right side, a couple, like 4 stations, 5 stations where you can like hold it, you know, check all the, you know, see how it feels in your hand, all that stuff. You can take the what you call the Joy-Cons off the edges if you want. I didn't even think to try that because they're magnetic in the new one. I wanted to see how they feel walking around, but I did forgot about that part. So we were in that room for 20 minutes, but, you know, then they had a little roped off to the room with the Mario Kart, so we could watch everybody that was playing the Mario Kart in the next room, which you'll see I recorded from that room, and then that's where they had then they had the glass boxes over on the left side where one had like 2 cases with the boxes are look like one regular one and one with the Mario Kart bundle. They had another one with a couple of all the controllers, and they had 2 wheels for Mario Kart which they did not show in the Direct 2. They were there. They looked pretty neat, and then they had the GameCube controller and the Switch 2 Pro controller in there. Then they had another section with and they had the camera, which by the way looks a lot smaller than it did in the video. In the Direct 2 video, this thing looks way smaller in person than it did in the Direct 2 video. Which is fine, you know. It's definitely fine because wouldn't, you know, take up too much room. Then we went into, from there we went to, they talked a little bit, explaining how the trip, the tour through the whole thing is going to go. Then we went into the Mario Kart room. She got about 15 minutes in at least. 15 to 20 minutes in there. We did about 3 to 4 Grand Prix races, 1 solo, 1 on the big TV with the partner you were with, and 1 you got to actually pick up the Switch 2 and do a solo one with yourself by holding the Switch 2 and everything. And then we went into another room to wait to go upstairs, and then they brought us up to another room of Mario Kart upstairs where we got to do the 1 big race online with everybody that was in the room. We had to do a whole race of that 24-player knockout tour race with everybody in the room. Brandon got knocked out in the first 4. He finished like 20, anywhere from somewhere 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, somewhere he was knocked out first. I finished 14th, so I made it to I got past the 16 cut, but I could not get past the cut, 12 cut. Deanna and Maria got into the 8, and then Deanna finished 6th, and Maria got 4th at that, so she was able to continue on trying to get to the end. She finished 4th, but still she made it all the way to the final checkpoint, through the final checkpoint to the end. And then from there we went into the big, the main game, the hour and 20 minutes of gameplay experience with, about 15 games lined up, all spread out through the room. They even had the GameCube, a couple GameCube TVs where you could, play the 3 GameCube games that are coming out with it, which I didn't do. I was going to, but so I played. We went to Civilization 7 first. Then I wanted to do Drag and Drive right off the, right away, but they were all full. So we walked around to the other aisle, and then we did the second one we did was the Mario Party Jamboree. The Mario Party Jamboree, and with the Jamboree with the mini games with the mouse controller, or the mouse, mouse games, the ones you do with the mouse. And then we did there was a second section of Mario Party Jamboree. It was different. It was a separate, card punch, or with the camera, where they, put yourself in the game and do the mini game stuff with yourself in the game with that. So that was the third thing. And then Deanna and Brandon happened to see us do it. They did it apparently before we did, so they knew it was coming. So Deanna starts recording from the outside. I'm like, oh God, you guys see the screen from the other side? And Deanna was recording the screen from the other side of us. But that was the first we've seen them since we split up when we first got into the room. Me and Maria went to Civ 7 and then the 2 Mario Party Jamborees, and then we saw them again. Then we turned the corner and went back over to the Drag and Drive, and then we got to do those Drag and Drive, and then went around the other, all the way on the other side to do Street Fighter 6, and then we did Kirby. To be the last one was Kirby, and they still had Metroid Prime. They had pretty much every game that was announced in the Direct that's coming within the first month or so was there to play. Literally, like all of those. They had Cyberpunk. They had the GameCube. They had the Hogwarts game. They had that other one. What the hell was it called? Like one where the first thing I saw was went in. Hades 2. That's what I'm thinking. I can't think. What else? They had. I mean, there was easily, we played 6 of them, there was easily another 6 and more. Oh, they had the Switch 2 control tour, whatever the hell it is, that game where you're walking around like you're inside the Switch 2 stuff. Control tour, whatever the hell the game's called. They had that, we could have played. Yeah, a lot. And it was fun. So me and Maria did all the same games until the last one. We got to Kirby. They only had like 6 Kirby screens. 3 were on one side and 3 were behind it on the other row. And this was the last game, so we were running out of time. And it was 1 person per TV, so it was kind of like very limited with those. So I did the Kirby. Deanna did the Kirby. Deanna kind of split the time with the Kirby with Brandon. Maria went around and did Metroid Prime. But that's the only game we did different. She did the Metroid Prime while I was doing Kirby. And then we went into another line to go into, you had a whole nother room, like 15 minutes of just the new Donkey Kong 3D game that's coming out in July. So Donkey Kong and Mario Kart had their own rooms that did not count as the 6-game, punch card thing. So, and then after the Donkey Kong, they had the little table at the end. We forgot the card stamp. They gave us the backpack, and then they had section for the bathrooms and the stairs to leave. So we got in line about 12:20. Our thing was between 12:30 and 1:30 was the check-in time or whatever. So we got inside like around 12:35ish. They let us in, and then we got in, and then about 1 o'clock they let us into or a little after 1 o'clock they let us into the room with the Swiss. So we were going inside at around 1 o'clock. But we went inside around 12:40-ish to go inside to get the lanyard and check in basically and scan the tickets and all that stuff. And then wait in line in there. And then 1 o'clock they opened up the doors for us to go into the room with all these supplies and all that stuff. So 1 o'clock, a little after 1, we went into there. We left the whole thing by like 4:30. It was a good 3.5 hours probably inside. But by the time of actually playing, probably about 3 hours, to be honest with you. The 20 minutes in the beginning too, we weren't playing anything. So maybe playtime was about 2.5 hours, but we were inside the whole thing. But in between, inside the whole thing for about 3.5 hours. So about an hour of it total was, the little weeding in between, but it wasn't all at once. It was 20 minutes. Seems like a long time, but it was cool because you get to walk around and look at all the stuff that's out, and feel the switch and all that. So it wasn't like we're just waiting. So, but yeah, check it out, man. Check out the Switch 2 experience video I put up. It's 16 minutes total. Inside there's probably about 12 minutes worth. I did a little recording quick, kind of when we got to the train, when we drove down to the train station and then took the train the rest of the way. I got a little bit, got like a couple seconds at the train station, a couple seconds when we got down there, got there at the Grand Central, and then another like a couple minutes inside the Nintendo store. But then the rest of it's like inside the Switch experience thing. So it was really fun, cool experience. So check it out. I just posted that a little bit ago, and that's that. Quick explanation of how it went today, and Switch 2 comes out in less than 2 months. So hopefully I'll be able to get a pre-order in there. I will attempt to pre-order it whenever they have it available to pre-order, and hopefully I can get one right off the bat and not be stuck waiting like a PlayStation 5. So, anyway, thanks for watching.